Right, so some self-help tools to start or to go deeper in your inner child healing and start that communication and keep that communication and relationship is to check with yourself simply by sitting, closing your eyes, breathe, and look inwards and just bring the intention of connecting with your inner child and ask your inner child how it's feeling in that moment. That constant checking in, you can do that regularly. Just sit and look in and check with your inner child. How is she or he feeling in that moment? You will see it or you will feel it. You will see an image or you will see her or him feeling somewhere, somehow. It could be that he or she is feeling okay and is feeling happy, or it could be another time when he's feeling sad or feeling rejected or feeling down or feeling abandoned and he needs some attention. And that's when you are going to give it attention or love and just whatever it needs in that moment. And it's an internal experience, okay? We need to learn to do these experiences for ourselves. Nobody can tell you how you're going to feel your inner child. Only you are going to feel it. However you feel it, whatever you get, you need to trust that internally. So that's part of your intuition. Just with the intention, you will get it. Now, the next thing is, in general, in your daily life, look out for sensations of abandonment, loneliness, rejection, feeling not good enough, ignore, especially with close people, close friends, or family members, as well with any interaction in your daily life. Whenever you feel these things specifically, abandonment, loneliness, rejection, feeling not good enough, ignore, those are just some of the feelings. They come from that inner child. Those things are very, very deep-seated wounds from childhood, okay? And in your relationships and interactions, that's when those things are gonna be triggered mostly. It could be in your work, it can be personal relationships, it could be any type of relationship, especially with your parents, over and over again, or with your parents or grandparents or aunt or uncle, anybody close to you. It's very common for you to get those wounds triggered. All right. Watch out for words that you use towards yourself when you make mistakes or when you feel rejected and lonely. What words do you use towards yourself? How do you treat yourself? Do you feel compassion for yourself? Do you feel understanding for yourself? Do you bring love to yourself if you feel those things? Or you judge yourself and make yourself feel even worse? Okay. Now, those things, those awareness, those bringing that awareness into how you're feeling in that sense is what's going to help you to create your own supporting and loving parent, to become your own loving parent. That's what it's going to create and do that. Because then instead of criticizing yourself or beating yourself up or judging yourself and making yourself feel worse, you are going to, instead of that, you're going to bring compassion, understanding, and love. The love that you needed when you were a child and you made a mistake and you didn't get that, or you didn't get that acceptance. You felt that something was wrong with you, or you were not good enough. When you were a child, those things happen. And then you did not get that love and acceptance from the outside. So that stayed there with you. So now as an adult, when something happens and you relieve these emotions or these feelings of oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm something wrong with me, or I'm abandoned, I'm being rejected, oh, I'm not being liked, I'm not being accepted. When these things come up, then that's when you have the opportunity to change the way that you treat yourself, because you need to remember that you are not your parents and you are not those people that were there making you feel those things at some point. So now you need to take the responsibility to be your own parent. And how would you like to be your parent? How will you how you wanted, or what type of parent you needed when you were a child? If you look back at your childhood, if you look back at certain painful experiences, how you would have liked to be treated in those moments, how that child needed to be treated in those moments, instead of being criticized or punished or not supported or ignored, how you would have liked to be treated. What do you need in that moment? Okay. And that is the parent that you are going to be for you. Now, this is just the tip of the iceberg I'm talking about here, okay? There's a lot of deep work that we need to do in this area. This is basically an introduction, but it's helpful for you to take you into what direction you can start going deeper into just questioning yourself and trying to do those things for yourself and finding out about those wounds, because the only way that you can heal is just acknowledging the pain and acknowledging the wounds and acknowledging whatever traumas and insecurities. Insecurity is a big, big one. Whatever you feel insecure is coming from childhood, okay? Now, one role that is very important in all these of becoming your own accepting, supporting, and loving parent for yourself is the critic. So the critic that is in your head, or the judge, is a part of a psyche that was created when we were growing up. Now, the critic character was useful at some point and for many circumstances, and it might have been even necessary to have in many occasions in your life. And that's why we created it, because we needed that kind of discipline. That was a type of discipline that we learned to have. So now the discipline became a critic and a judge, but it's because it was coming from authority figures when we were growing up. That's what we learned. So that was a learned parent figure. And that learned parent figure was there in the head. So it could have been a parent figure that did not give you discipline at all, or it was a parent figure that was giving you too much discipline to the extent of punishing you and making you feel bad all the time because you were making mistakes and you were a child. So it could be either way, it could be either extreme. Okay. Now you have to find out what is it that your critic persona or critic part does when you make mistakes, especially when those feelings of abandonment or rejection come. You have to find out that for yourself, right?